All right, so Higurashi is the first show.
Higurashi had a wild week, and I'm very excited about it.
It did. It had a oh my god, wild like so Higurashi has so this particular season of Higurashi has had a weird kind of effect where like the people that seen the original um know certain details and like, oh yes, we know how this could go, and it still subvert our expectations, but it does so in like a way that we are like, okay, we know what's possible. This was the moment where like everything that you knew just went out the door. It was like, wait a minute, hold on, why is there another time looper? Uh, Throughout the whole series, Rika has been the only person that has been able to go back in time, but now it seems that Satoko has been looping and changing the future this entire time, and all the clues and all the like little like hints that we've been seeing so far finally make sense, and we finally know what's going. Well, we have suspicions, but we won't really know
I,
the full detail to the next episode.
Man, last episode I was suspicious of her, and I'm like, why would she know that? That's too weird. And I mean, I'm just saying, I was suspicious of her last week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Like I did not expect like I was there's been times throughout the series where I've been suspicious of Satoko, but because it was never even in my mind that there could be another looper. I was like, oh, even if she did something in the previous timeline, it doesn't matter anymore because everything's different, right? Because Rika was the
Yeah.
only one carrying over memories, but I never thought that there was another person like Mastermind in the show. And I hate Satsuko. I hope Rika destroys her. I hope like there was one particular timeline in the original series where everything was perfect, but the thing is Satsuko was a bully, and Rika beat her with a wooden chair so badly, and I was like, I need this to happen again. Like I hate that kid. She's such a brat.
Yeah, Eric sent me this the video of this happening, and I quite enjoyed it as well. Go to the next
Yeah.
slide.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot that I'm in charge of that now. But
Yeah, you
yeah,
got to be in
episode
charge of it
16.
now.
But yeah, there was a lot of plot points that got introduced this episode that you had to really pay attention to. For example, like there was a syringe missing in one of the briefcases when they finally went to the hospital, and so it's implying that Satoko was the like that syringe had been missing in every timeline, and Satoko has been the one injecting people with the viral strain of the disease. And so it seems that she's been the one that's been intentionally like selecting people to go crazy. Um, Takano giving up her plan was a pretty big like plot moment because like in the original series, Takano literally went through this plan for 100 years. That's why Rika was like, the Takano I know wouldn't do this in 100 years, and she was actually speaking literally because she's been killed by her like 100 times. So yeah, a lot of big stuff, and a lot of people are really excited because Yumi Neko is kind of like the side story of Higurashi that technically takes place like 3 years later, but in Higurashi, Rika is like the main character or the hero that we're all rooting for. But in Yumi Neko, she's technically a villain, and so it's really fun because like uh, Rika kind of does like a Madoka thing where she's been through so many timelines that the collective consciousness of all her like timelines become their own person named Birkenstell, and so she becomes a villain in Yumi Neko. And so it seems like we're finally finding out how those two shows are perfectly connected. So I'm
Interesting.
pretty excited for the next episode.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because a lot of wild crap happened, and I'm pretty stoked. And I don't blame Rika for wanting to leave this town, and I want
It's
her to beat the
terrible.
crap out of that other little girl. Okay, I need her to just beat the crap out of that other little girl. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
she's terrible, man. The
Yeah,
laugh is what gets me. The laugh, the annoying little shrill laugh that she has, I can't stand it.
yeah, yeah. You're on.
All
Hey,
right.
you're on slide duty. You're on slide
Yo, so
duty.
next show we have is Heaven's Design Team.
I
Um,
feel like episode 4 got back to because episode 3 I think was a little bit badly paced, but in episode 4 we got back to making fun of people in creative industries and what they have to deal with a whole lot because it was like, oh, we had to compromise on this, and neither one of us like it, but the
Yeah.
client likes it, and that's all that matters. And this is too real, okay? This is way too real if you've worked in like graphic design or something. Like, too much. Too much. Just put stripes on the horse. Clearly, that's the way to go. Give it some flash and pizzazz and some wow.
Yeah, well, that's how we get to giraffes, though. Good things
No,
come out of
that was
this.
the zebras. The zebras.
Oh
Just
yeah,
put
yeah,
stripes
you're right.
on
You're
the
right.
horse. You got the
You're right.
zebras.
You're right.
Yeah.
But one thing
But
that
that
happened in
old,
this. Oh, what were we saying?
that old man got to make a horse, and he's so proud of himself because he got to make
That's
another horse.
that's all he does. That's all he
I
does. Just makes
know.
variations of horses.
Well, I mean, he's
Um,
good at it, so.
but one thing that happened this episode is that we finally get to see like overarching plot, and so she got sent to hell. Like,
She
what?
did. She
That's
said,
like, wait a
I
minute.
cursed him. And then the guy's like, cursed? Are angels allowed to do that? And all of a sudden, there's an edict from God, and a lightning bolt comes down and vaporizes her, and it
Yeah.
announces that she's been sent to hell.
I was not
So-
expecting any continuation of any plot in this show. I thought it was episode by episode. Like I was not expecting any actual like overarching plot.
Yeah, I also like why does God as a client have to be so damn cryptic? Okay, I want to have an animal that does this and this. Are you just like throwing things at a dartboard? Because that's what it feels like. Okay,
I mean, when we got the koala bear was I wanted an animal that's cute, but also not cute. I mean, like it's terrible. The worst
It's
client
ridiculous.
ever. The worst possible client. Another
Yeah.
thing that happened in this episode, we found out that apparently, so I guess this has always been the case, but if you didn't know Japanese, you wouldn't realize it. All the characters are named after planets, and so far the translators or the subbers have just been giving them their names, like they just been like putting their names on in the subtitles, but now they're actually translating the planet that their name corresponds to. So it was
Yeah.
weird that now all the characters are like, oh, this is Pluto, this is Jupiter, and
Yeah.
it was no real like explanation, so you kind of had to like piece it together a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I
yeah.
don't know. It seems you get the context of it a little bit more there when they translate it like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
localization decision. I get it.
Yeah, I think that's I appreciate that decision because otherwise there's literally no way you would have, because it's not like their actual Japanese names like sound anything like Jupiter. It's just Japan has actual different names
Yeah.
for the planets, which makes sense. They do need to
Yeah.
fix the panda though. They need to that panda
Yeah.
cannot stay that way.
I like how the sleeping sickness teetsy flies. that's
Yeah.
that's the solution. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Next up we have cells at work.
All right, I
Um,
feel so bad for this person's body every week, and we had a couple of like extra episodes too. It just keeps getting worse. I seriously have concerns about this human being. I really do.
Is a urinary tract infection worse than gonorrhea?
Okay. Let me clue you into UTIs, okay? They can be so you got UTIs and you've got kidney stones in this episode. My
Yeah.
mom said kidney stones were almost worse than childbirth, okay? Like, kidney stones don't mess around. And
So
UTIs are no walk in the park. If they're bad, you are like laid up in bed with no recourse, and it's painful. Okay.
So I had a kidney stone, and I had a kidney stone years and years ago, and I was actually in the emergency room. Well, I was in the emergency room for a little bit, but I was in the hospital for like a week. But it was not so severe that I would absolutely say it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But I mean, they did a pretty good job at making it showcasing just how bad it is, though.
Well, I mean, it's pretty painful. So it runs in my family. My great grandfather used to have them. My mom has had them, and my mom's had real bad ones. And it's really, really painful. And when they're big, it's like you're trying to pass something that's jagged on your insides, and you can't pass it, and it's just like, oh my God. So I mean, like, gonorrhea wasn't good, but all of this like hair follicles on fire and gonorrhea and freaking UTI infection, and also because like a urethra is longer on a guy, it's actually harder for people with male genitalia to get a UTI than it is for people with female genitalia. So it's yeah,
I did not know
it's
that.
harder. It's not impossible, and because they had to do the thing where they stuck the catheter in, that's what brought in the bacteria. Which makes sense because you're introducing foreign bacteria. Although I question what doctor that this person went to that they used an unsterile piece of equipment that brought a bunch of bacteria into the urethra here. So, but
So one thing I think we have to consider about this show is that I think time passes a lot faster for the cells because
yeah,
the amount that he gets, like, I don't think that these diseases are necessarily back to back to back. I think there is some like time in between them in terms of the human world because even when he gets like sick or infected, like the treatment comes really fast. Like he gets treated and healed like almost like pretty much the same episode. So it's like
yeah.
that
Well, and
there has to be like.
I agree, but I think it's almost opposite of what it would actually be because your cells are regenerating all the time. So, like your main
Oh,
characters
that
would
is
have died
true.
a long time ago if this were actually like on a speed up.
That is true. They are playing a little bit with the time a bit, but
Yeah. Well, I also have an interesting problem with this show, and I get it. It's supposed to be all fictional, and you're supposed to suspend your disbelief and all that. But go to the next slide because I want to talk about this.
oh yeah,
Uh, so the idea of I guess anthropomorphizing cells in your body is so problematic because if the cells didn't work 24 hours a day, your body wouldn't function. But then you feel bad for these, like, what is this, kidney cells? Like these kidney
yeah.
cells like, with this taskmaster lady who's like laying into them. And it's just
I
like,
mean, technically she's completely right, but at the same time, it's like you can't like. So I mean, so the whole cells at work black thing is supposed to. It's not supposed to be code black. It's supposed to be a reference to like black corporations and corporations that like have like a reputation in Japan for just overworking their workers to like
mm,
insane degrees. And so she's supposed to be like a representation of the black corporation that just is pushing, yeah, you can't complain, just work, work, work. But at the same time, in a human body, I mean, technically you are supposed to just work, work, work. So it's like
what are they going to do? They're cells. I mean, it's like uh, in the animal kingdom, people consume and defecate and reproduce. I mean, like what this is what things do. Like
yeah.
your body wouldn't function if they weren't doing this all the time. And it's like the brave little toaster all over again. Don't feel like you need to anthropomorphize inanimate objects because it leads to bad places. And then you just feel bad for every time you throw out a toaster. And it's like it's just a toaster. It doesn't have sentience. And this is what I feel about this show. Like
Did you ever,
they're cells. They
did you
don't
ever
have
watch the cockroach anime where they turn cockroaches into little girls?
girls. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. My
Mm-hmm.
roommate said he saw that anime, and so he said if he sees a cockroach, he's going to protect him. Like, you better not! You kill that thing immediately.
Well,
What are you
worst
doing?
case, you just put it outside and try to make sure it doesn't get in your house, if you don't want to kill it. But still, like, stop anthropomorphizing things. Like, please. It does not lead to good places for a lot of reasons. And, hey, no dig on the furries. You guys do your thing. But anthropomorphizing, like, inanimate objects and cells and weird stuff like that, it's just going to lead you down a path you don't want to be on, okay?
Yeah,
It's
it
just
is.
going to
It
take
is.
you there.
It is funny because in order to portray the cell properties, they give them a human equivalent. So it's like when the macrophages were like trying to get to the virus, they were like, oh yeah, but they move slower through the body than other white blood cells, and they just had them casually walking
Yep,
determinately, and
walking.
it was like, what are you what are you doing? Run! Why
Yeah.
can't you
Well,
run?
so King Nora asks, I thought this was more on serious diseases or adult problems. And it is. I think it is. But yeah, Eric's context of the black corporation makes sense as a double meaning, like a double
Yeah.
entendre on it. Uh, But yeah, I'm
All
still
right.
enjoying Code Black, although I really want to see like how far down the rabbit hole we're gonna go with having this one person have all of these
All of
problems.
the diseases.
I mean, and I'm
Every
gonna be
bad
real,
disease.
even if they are like spaced out and far away from each other, it's still a lot of problems back to back to back. Okay,
Yeah.
it's still more than somebody should probably have in one, short time span of life. So
Yeah. If you want happiness, go watch the regular one. This is not where you
yeah,
need
it's
to
really
be.
not. It's really not.
All right, let's see. Next up we have quintuplets. All
Oh,
right.
I got opinions on this week.
Oh my god. You hate I don't
Ugh.
know why you don't like this show. I mean it's
I hate this show. It's so dumb, and this week was super duper duper dumb. Oh
oh
my
my
god,
god.
it was so dumb.
Uh,
Ugh.
I I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was bad.
I thought it was terrible.
I
From
mean,
start to
it
finish,
has
this episode
it has a lot of
was
weird
like the
plots in it
worst
though.
episode.
Okay, all right. Let's see.
So,
What slide did you pick? Oh, you picked. Oh, I see.
I picked the
You picked
dumbest
the.
part of the show. That's what I did. I picked the single stupidest scene in the entire show because I wanted to talk about how bad it was. And that's exactly why I screenshotted this exact thing. It's dumb as hell, and no human being would act this way in real life, okay? No one. It's stupid dumb. All right, you
Yeah.
start out.
Okay. It is dumb. It is dumb for all of them to jump in though. I
Oh god!
agree.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All of
Okay.
this sequence was dumb. But let's start at the beginning, okay? Yotsuba can't leave the track club because she feels like she can't. Although it's her problem, I feel like she should just, learn to deal with it. Because, like you said in the comments, she doesn't. She hasn't really gotten like a growth arc like Yotsuba hasn't. And I feel like this would have
Yeah.
been a good opportunity for a growth arc because it's her problem. But
So yeah, that's how she gets introduced in season one. As this, she's like the person that everybody in the school like turns to whenever they need anything. Like, hey, we need like help making this festival. Oh, let's ask her. We need help on the track team. Ask her. And so she's the person that everyone turns to, and she can't turn anybody down. And so she feels really bad, even like trying to back out of stuff. And so it felt like this would have been a good opportunity to finally say, hey, here's a
mm-hmm.
character that we haven't developed at all and is literally the same person she was in episode one. Have her grow a little bit, but they didn't. And it's like it's a weird writing choice, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I want to jump back just a minute because what other adult problems or diseases are there for Code Black? Okay, this person is gonna break a hip. Mark my words. We're gonna get broken hips or some kind of cartilage problem, and that's coming. Okay, that's coming.
So before the show was airing, I think the writers were hinting or suggested that they're going to do COVID at the end. And that's like, wait a minute, it's a little soon for that. Like,
it's very topical. Very topical.
Like that, it really is too soon though. Like, bro, hold up.
Yeah.
Um,
all right. So in quintuplets, right? You've got at the end, it winds up being Nino who saves the day, sort of. And she cuts off her hair, which, okay, I don't understand how people think they look alike anyway, because they all have radically different color hair. And we've been over this, that it's not like that in the manga, but it just comes across really weird in the anime because they're clearly different people and they're clearly differently identifiable, even with, the same style of hair. Like when they try to fool him, and it's really dumb. It comes across as really dumb. But Nino uses her super asshole powers, which, I mean, it's the first good use of that in this entire show I've seen so far, to be kind of a jerk and get her out of doing this. So kudos to Nino for using your
one good deed.
Your one good deed for being a jerk, because you're a jerk 24/7. Because Nino is the worst. We're on the same page that Nino is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
But then you've got this whole rigmarole where he thinks he's not getting them good grades, so he quits and then is banned from their house, which, okay, that makes sense.
Well, that ties into like kind of like, so the audience almost forgets that his job is very, very conditional. Like when the season one started, his job was to get them to pass their first, like their upcoming test. And so it was a
Mm.
big deal that if you can't get them to pass this test, like I want to find another tutor, like because I need results. That was the father like made it very clear, and they didn't
Yeah.
pass. They didn't come anywhere close to passing, but at the very least they improved. And so he was like, "Hey, I know they didn't pass, but we're making some progress. Give us some more time. We'll get results." And the father was like, "You know what? Okay, I like you. Like, we'll give it some more time." And so like another test came, and he didn't pass again, but he got improvement. And at this point, it's like you really need to like provide results, or like you're just not doing your job. So
That's
it
fair.
makes sense if
That's
you
fair.
don't see the course of events. It doesn't make sense if you haven't
Yeah.
seen what
Well,
led up to it.
it's not
But
the firing or the quitting that bothered me. It was the immediate instruction of you can never come back to their house ever again or see them. And it's like, what? That
yeah, that
seems
is a little
real
weird.
extreme. Like real extreme. And
If
then you
anything,
get
kick him off the payroll and just have him be like a friend that encourages them to study. You know what I mean?
I mean, kicking him off the payroll and he's still hanging out and trying to encourage them to be better sounds even better than hiring a tutor because you're not paying for him,
Yeah.
right? And you get to the stupidest turn in the entire show where all 5 girls have somehow, and maybe they'll talk about this later, who knows, have somehow bought, because the one that I like is an actor and makes money. They've now bought their own apartment that they're all going to live in separate from their parents, despite the fact that they're still minors and still probably their rich stepdad or whatever has control over everything, other about them. And because they want him to be able to see them, and this is the stupidest harem shit, sorry, stuff that I've ever seen, okay? I'm sorry. I am animated about this show and how much I don't like it, okay?
Okay, that was not great writing. I don't know why they would just decide to. If anything, if you have that much, like, why would you leave your luxury home though? Like, if anything, if you have that much money, just buy like a second apartment somewhere, and I don't know, have him live. Like, if you have that much money to burn, buy him an apartment. Like, help this man
I was
out.
gonna
Like,
say
I don't
it would
even
have been
know.
that's a good point. It would have been much cheaper to buy an apartment to accommodate one person than it would to accommodate 5 people with rich people tastes. And I
Right.
mean, like I can't. And then at the end, he falls off and he gets this flashback of the mystery girl and all of this, and he's like, I guess I'm gonna die, and it gets real morbid for a second too. And then he's like, oh no, but all of them have jumped in with me. This is the stupidest show. Eric,
Yeah,
I
I
cannot
don't know.
believe you are
I don't
making
know
me
how
watch
you
this
not realize
incredibly
that
stupid
4 other people are
show.
trying to jump into a river with you. You know what I mean? Like someone had to have seen, oh, she's going to do it, and she's going to do it. I don't need to do it. So I don't know. This is a
Also,
nice wallpaper though. This is a nice wallpaper image.
that girl that you like, the one with the headset, she jumped in with her headset, which probably definitely ruined her
It
electronics.
definitely did. Miku is the like. I feel like this episode is. I feel like they're solidifying Miku being the best girl. Like she's come so far. Like she was like this standoffish, like don't talk to me ever in your entire life type person. Like when he first met her, and now she's actually she's smart. She's considerate. She's helping her sisters. Like Miku is best girl, but she's gonna get rimmed. She's gonna have an I love Amelia moment, and it's tearing me up. It's tearing me up.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely yeah, yeah. Strangely enough, this was definitely my most hated episode of the week. Usually that title goes to ReZero, but I actually didn't hate this episode of ReZero. I actually found it really interesting. So we'll get there though.
There's
Don't
a lot
worry,
of
we'll
stuff.
get but you can go to the
All right,
next
next
one. I'm
slide.
done ranting about quintuplets. I still think it's a stupid, stupid show, and I still kind of hate it. And I think people only like it because the art style is really pretty. But it
That's
is really
fair.
pretty.
That's fair. All right, so now we have I'm a Spider. So what? I love this show. This show
I do
doesn't
too.
disappoint.
Yeah, I
Um,
do too.
like the voice actor is so good because like she has a long list of roles. Like she has a long list of credits to her name, but she's so good at making you feel for the hopelessness of the spider. Like when she was like, "Oh man." Like I told myself I wasn't going to run away, and yet here I am running away again. And it felt like so like defeated, and I'm like, dang.
Well, see, I feel like almost the opposite too. Like when she's trying to like, nope, I guess I've got to try to do this. I'm gonna try my very best, and I totally believe she's gonna try her very best to get all of those monkeys, all of them, so she doesn't die. And the monkey ate half of her body, and she
Yeah,
still like killed enough of them to level up and like reset. So many times. We had a power level episode, okay? This was
yeah,
absolutely a power leveling episode, and it was great.
yeah.
Absolutely great. Go to the next slide. Monkeys all the way down. That's what the
That's a
bottom
lot.
level is. Monkeys
Like,
all the way
I feel like she has to have leveled up like 100 levels at this point, because the monkeys were already higher level than she was. So like there has to be like some level of like like games have like some level of compensation if you take down somebody that's naturally stronger than you. You're supposed to get like extra EXP or something. So like she should be super powerful at this point. But
Yeah, it was a lot of
why is it so
monkeys too.
aggressive though? It's
I
like
don't know. What does anything even mean in this dungeon? Like where's the way up to the middle tier? Where is anything? I just don't know. But I'm proud of her. I'm proud she leveled so many times, and now she has like a new designation. And I like this power leveling. That's nice. It's nice.
yeah, and being 100% healed after every level up is that's really useful, because usually like in games you only get like the difference between your two levels, like whatever your HP goes up to, you get the difference refunded. But getting a full heal upon leveling is probably one of her most overpowered abilities actually.
Yeah, I think so too. So King Norris said this is trying to be like Rinmaru and in Slime Show, and I think the way that it differs from the Slime Show is definitely the other humans, like the other humans from the same timeline, from the same classroom that also got reincarnated in this world. I think that's where you're going to see it's going to be unique. This show, the Spider Show,
I also think it differentiates between a slime, because even as Rinmaru leveled up, he was still this cute slime that could just walk into town and everyone's like, oh, look at this cute slime. When she levels up, she's gonna look vicious. So it's like she can't be the hero. You know what I mean?
Nah.
So I feel like this feels like the other side of the coin between those two shows.
Hey, she's making the best of it, and I appreciate that. I like this show. I'm very excited about it. And I hope we go a long way.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an oops jar.
Yeah,
Apparently, I got a swear jar.
These are dollars.
I have not sworn once, but I think you're already in like the double digits at this point over the course of the last
few weeks. For this episode, I've only done it like 2 or 3 times, and all of it was in relation to quintuplets. Okay, all of it was in relation to quintuplets.
We'll keep it running total. I think if you watch all the rewinds, the VODs, I think you're in the double digits.
I mean, probably. It's really hard for me not to curse. Okay, so this is a challenge.
All right. Next slide we have Yashahime.
Oh, Yashahime. Yashahime went back to being boring again this week. So, I mean, I guess that's where we're at now.
I suppose.
I feel like it's still really boring. We had storyline, random jump to backstory no one asked for and no one cared about, to back to like kind of monster of the weeky kind of stuff where we're moving toward the main bad guy, but we're not really making much progress. And I don't know. I find Toa frustrating, and I'm not a fan of the show, of most of the characters.
I think Toa. It's hard for me to pick between Toa and what's her name? It's hard for me to pick between Toa and Kagome's daughter. I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
Moroha.
Yeah.
I like both of them. I think I might like Toa just a tiny bit more. I don't think she's annoying. I think like Toa's always the one. Like even though she has like no like battle experience, she's always the one that figures it out. What'd you say?
Let me clarify. If this were like grounded in reality in some way, right? Toa's actions would make sense. She doesn't understand this world. She doesn't understand what's going on. I get it. But for the sake of narrative, it makes it really tedious. Like, very tedious to watch her make similar mistakes over and over again. And you know what's going on, and you want to scream at the TV that you need to just do it right. What are you doing? Please stop. Although, I feel like Setsuna had a moment like that this week when she's like, I think I'm dreaming, so I'm going to stab myself and open a wound in my leg. And it's like, you couldn't have done somewhere a little bit, like, better?
Like, you don't have to, like, actually have a gaping wound in your leg in order to confirm that you're awake. So, I don't know. And then what was worse is that she told Toa to stab her. She's like, Toa, stab me. Wait a minute. Why? And she didn't even give any context. She didn't even say, like, hey, cut me a small amount. No, she just said attack me.
She's just like, stab me with your sword. She could have murdered you there. Like, that didn't make any sense. Like, what even is this show is so frustrating, and at least we're moving toward like a main bad guy. I feel like this was the first week that we've explicitly said that Riku is working for the big bad, Kirin Maru, right?
Yeah,
like
it is.
You knew the dude was bad news. You knew this like noble kid was bad news with the earring that's the pearl, and you know. But this is the first time I think he's been connected to the big bad. So, and now he's luring them in. And it's going to be a two-parter, and it's just, I just don't care what happens to these characters. I really don't. And I feel like this series was sold on nostalgia, and they just don't have a good place to go.
I feel like they're just making it up as they go. And that, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're making it up as they go, and because of that, it's very reminiscent of the original Inuyasha, but like you said a few weeks ago, like we have higher standards now, so you can't just have.
We do.
Like,
no. I feel like they're making it up even more. The chat is pointing out Inuyasha at least had one clear objective, and that was to collect the shards of the gem.
Oh, that is true.
Like that was an ongoing, like, you know, we always have something to do because there's a whole bunch of these shards, and we have to collect them all because they were, you know, exploded everywhere, and we're trying to, you know, beat Naraku to the punch or whatever. Shikanjo, thank you. Yeah, this
one is kind of, it's kind of just hanging in there by a thread. Like there's not really much direction.
I do remember what slide I put for this one. Go ahead and go to the slide.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's see.
It's super dumb that she can immediately play like concert level violin, and she was only in the future for like a few weeks. Okay, this is super dumb.
Yeah,
super dumb.
Yeah. The writing is not great. I'll give you that.
No,
one. It's not great.
No, it's not. And I don't think that's the thing. I don't think they planned out the arc very well. And that's if they'd have like, you know, storyboarded or at least briefly outlined the 26 episode arc, it would have made more sense. But it feels really arbitrary. Like I said I want to say I talked about this last week. Last week's episode feels like it was a Fox show, and they could have thrown it in and they played it out of order. You know, it feels like they played it out of order.
Like it feels like the episodes themselves aren't even that bad in my opinion, but it feels like they needed to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, we need to put this here, this there, and like just make it a better paced show. Because right now there is no pace. It's like, hey, we're gonna throw some plot at you super fast, and then we're gonna do a hard stop. Now it's just whatever. Yeah. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean I'm only here because we're watching it for this. I dropped this show at episode like 12 or 13, and I only picked it back up so that we could do this for our anime book club. Otherwise, I'd be noping out real fast, but, you know.
Yeah. Not a must-watch, but I think Inuyasha fans are still appreciative that it's there.
Well, I think Inuyasha fans are mad because of underage Rin, but okay. We'll go with that.
Yeah. All right. Next slide we have Wonder Egg.
Wonder Egg was so good this week. Oh.
Yeah, Wonder Egg was pretty good. We have a new we have a new character. We finally have all 4 of the main girls. So it jumped right into like pretty heavy territory. Like they were like 1 minute in, let's go into like holy. So it's like,
if you're not watching Wonder Egg, then you need to be watching Wonder Egg. Okay, Wonder Egg is the best show out this season, and I say that knowing that Titan is really hot right now. Okay, I still am gonna go with Wonder Egg for my number one.
I personally haven't. I feel like there's a lot of good shows this season, and I have not picked a number one. I think like Spider is always in like the first thing that comes to mind when I think what could be the best show. But I think I'm gonna have to hold out until like all the episodes are out for everything before I give like a definitive best show of the season. But Wonder Egg is a contender just because of how many topics it covers. Like it's a
Yeah.
wide range of like very, I guess, issues that a lot of people will be able to relate to. Like for they introduce like right off the bat they introduced the last of the main characters, and uh she's not very well defined in terms of her own self as being feminine. So like she's very androgynous, and she dresses like a boy because it just feels more natural that way. She feels she looks better that way, and everyone always just assumes she's a guy. But that even though she intentionally dresses that way, and she identifies as not necessarily being super feminine, it's still something that like weighs heavily on her mind, and like it
Yeah.
kind of hurts her feelings just be automatically be assumed as a guy. And so I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, especially like in this day and age. So it covers a very wide range, even when you're not looking at kind of like their problem of the week character that they have to save, because they have even like more serious problems that they're going through.
Yeah, there was
So
it was a really interesting arc. So like the show does not shy away from heavy topics, like not even a little bit. So
yeah,
Momoe, who's the new character, was trying to rescue a girl at one point in this episode who was molested by her father's coworker or possibly boss from
yeah,
the company. And her
yeah,
father, and she told him no, and she like screamed one day when he was trying to molest her on the train, and then her father got fired because
yeah.
she wouldn't put out for some old man. And it's like, holy crap, you know? And so
Yeah, and then
she
the
winds
worst
up,
part is that her mother was like, "Why didn't you just like take it? Why did you have to have your father lose his job over something like this? You should have
yeah, and
just
it's
took it."
really, oh my God. And then at the end, she winds up like, oh, you're right. I did want it to like the big monster that is the representative of her fear or whatever, or her thing.
Mhm.
And is representing this guy, and he's like, "Oh, all you young girls dress so provocatively. Clearly, you want it. Your body tells me you want it, and all of this kind of crap." And then she like tries to play along, and then gets him killed. And then at the end, it's revealed, you know, she's just playing along and stuff like that, so that he can
Yeah. So
stab.
I think a
stab.
core aspect of so one thing about this episode is that in both so each episode so far has been one single I guess egg that they have to like free or whatever, one single problem person they have to deal with. But this one had two, and in both cases, um, the two characters that they had to like help um, ended up assisting the main character with their problems. And so I think
Yep.
that the show is trying to say that just saving them isn't enough. I think they make more progress when they get the person to confront their own problems and to like play a
Right.
role in their own, I guess, salvation. So I think that's what
Yeah.
the show is trying to set up.
Well, and then you've got the scene from like episode 2 where she's main character has goop on her head and she can't see, and the person who she's saving was a gymnast, and it's her gymnastics teacher, and she has to help her like defeat
Yeah,
her gymnastics teacher, even though she was just taking the abuse, like in the scene before, you know, just like getting wailed on and taking the abuse. I agree.
yeah,
I think that's kind of where we're going with this, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's any way that we're getting a happy ending in this story. I don't think
yeah,
anybody's suicidal friends and or lovers, as it came from Momoe, which was interesting. None of these people are coming back. I don't think any of them are coming back. I think we may get some catharsis for some people, like, you know, coming to terms with their friend having committed suicide and moving on. But I don't think any of these people are coming back, like, in
yeah.
any way.
We did get a hard confirmation from one of I don't remember what their names are, but kind of like the overseers of the gotcha game that they're doing, whatever. We got a hard confirmation that everyone that's in an egg is a suicide victim, because
Yep.
he was saying he even explained or he said that the men and women commit suicide for different reasons, and he was
Yep.
saying that women are more easily pulled into like whatever force that's being like running the game or whatever. He was saying that the relationships between women is what's causing all the kind of like the I don't they we don't have a lot of terms yet. I guess saviors be girls, and that's why they were so shocked to see Mama Way being there, because typically all the saviors are just girls.
Yeah. And they
But
made a
yeah,
point about, they made some interesting statistical points that I've heard in articles before about how women are driven to suicide versus men are driven to suicide, and women commit suicide in different ways than men do, like more different kinds of things. So I mean, take that as you will.
yeah,
Definitely a subject warning, a content warning on this entire series. Everything about this series is heavy topics, and if you have sensitivity to stuff, especially suicide, because the whole show is kind of centered around that, and if you have
yeah,
sensitivity to things like that, it's not something you should go into lightly, for sure.
yeah. And you should take in consideration that the show tackles it a lot more head on than what you might expect, because Japan has one of the highest like suicide rates like in the world, and so like they Japanese people that's a very much something in their backyard, you know. So it's like, I mean, even in America it's pretty high, but Japan definitely has
Yeah,
a much more
there's a
higher rate than
suicide season in Japan, like in like
yeah
the March time when like quarterly results come out or yearly results come out from companies. There's a whole suicide season of people that their company has performed poor, or they're doing bad, and they don't have another result, so they'll jump in front of a train and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah
it's a thing.
yeah. I forgot to switch the slide. What's
So
your
I made
slide?
this slide. I've only had Momoe for a day and a half. Okay, already my favorite character.
Okay,
Already.
okay. My favorite character is Neru. Like she's best girl. Like I like Rika's design, but Neru is like
That's
she's
because
rich, she's smart,
she's the
she's
new Homura.
powerful. What?
You like her because she's the new Homura. Don't you lie to me, sir. Don't you lie to me.
Uh
I know what your taste is. You like her
okay,
because
you
she's
know what she
Homura.
is? She is pretty close to Homer. You are right. I didn't even consider that. But yeah, but no. She's Homer plus having a multi-million-dollar corporation at your
Yeah,
hands for
no,
some
that was
reason.
really weird too. We revealed that they go into this corporation and everybody treats her really well, and at the end they call her president, and she is the president. I thought it was gonna be like her mom or dad or something. Nope, she is the president of some corporation, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
Homer up what? From Madoka. Yeah, Homura from
Yeah.
Madoka. This is
Yeah.
a spiritual successor to Madoka, I guess. It's got that same kind of
You
dark
know
look to
what?
it.
You know what? Is it the spiritual successor of Monica? Like the more I think about it, the more it fits, because you know how in Monica they go into like the witch's layers? They're going into like the egg layer. Oh my god. We need to have like a whole video of the Monica
Mhm.
comparisons.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people are
Oh
making
my
that
god.
comparison. A lot of people are
I didn't
comparing
even
it to an
realize.
Ikuhara show, which I agree. It looks like an Ikuhara show, but it's not weird enough to be an Ikuhara show, I think. It got more normal as the episodes went on. Like the first episode's real weird and you don't really know what's going on. And it got progressively more normal, which is
Yeah.
really weird to say. It got more predictable, I guess. It got more internally consistent. Ikuhara shows are not internally consistent at all. Like
Yeah,
go
they
and
just
watch
get
Penguin
more
and
off the
tell me that
rails.
that's internally consistent, because it's not. Like not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, you know what? One more comment I want to make about Momoe is that she has. So I haven't actually seen a lot of Sailor Moon, but she has a lot of Sailor Uranus vibes. Like every time I
oh,
see her, I feel like, you know what? She reminds me of Sailor Uranus.
I feel like you're only saying that because she's gender ambiguous and dresses like a boy. Because Sailor Uranus
Maybe.
is a lot like more suave and debonair kind of thing. Sailor Uranus would be
Yeah.
like if you had Momoe's looks, but that the girl. What's the girl you like? What's the
Rika?
girl you like in the show?
Oh, so
What
I like Neru.
Neru. If you had Momoe's looks, but like Neru's attitude a little bit, but without being so standoffish, that would be Haruka, okay? Because
Yeah.
Haruka is like a race car driver and she's super duper suave and she tries to romance Usagi immediately. And yeah, no, yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. On that note, I do need to get back and watching Sailor Moon. I have not kept up with Crystal at all.
Yeah, well,
But
you should, because the movies are dropping in Japan, man.
I will when I'm not watching 14 shows a season.
Oh, oh.
All right. Next slide. Oh, Horimiya.
Horimiya was a thing this week. Oh my
It
god,
was.
it's progressing so fast. I don't even know where we're going from here, but I love it. It's like a
Yeah,
salve. When you've had a bad week, and it's like a salve on your bad week, and it makes you feel better, and it's just so precious. And yeah, I feel like we're gonna have to introduce a bunch of new characters, because I feel like we're going way too fast in the main storyline here. So
yeah, probably because because it's like, where do we end? Because there's no, like most romance shows, the plot is, will they get together, or like, do they really they like each other, but it's like, we already understand that they're like, they understand each other, they understand their feelings, they just haven't expressed them yet, and
yeah.
so I don't
Well, hey,
know.
Miyamura did today. Okay, Miyamura did at
Yeah.
the end of this episode.
I mean, technically, she did it in the previous episode when she was like, "I like you," but then she like said, "What did she deflect to when she said she liked him?"
Yeah, she deflected when she did it. It was a thing.
So at this point, they both confess to each other, and so there's no question of if he's going to pick somebody else or she's going to pick somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't know where is going to be like the massive, like, oh, final episode, big plot climax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah. I don't know.
let me see. What do I have for my notes? I like the green hair girl. I have to go back and watch the episode. I have to go back and watch the episode with the student council to see if she was actually terrible in the episode. But I did like her in this episode.
Yeah, no, it's King Nora points out, I just want to go to the school and beat the crap out of everyone. And that's pretty fair. There are a lot of people in the school that are very problematic. Like, pink-haired girl deserves to get her butt kicked, like, up and down the school. And then even like the main guy that's like her childhood friend, yeah, no. He deserves to get kicked. The guy that's in love with her, the short-haired guy, even he's pretty problematic in some ways.
Is he problematic? I don't think he's problematic.
He's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't like a lot of the secondary characters.
No, I want to stick up for best friend. I want to stick up for him because he attempted. He told her how he felt, and he's trying to move on. He's trying his best. It's hard for him.
He's not moving on. He's being real, like, possessive in certain scenes, and that's problematic. That's what I'm saying, man.
I think he's moving along. I think he's doing the best he can. I think he's doing the best he can. I'm rooting for him to get with green hair girl because I feel like she's going to start liking him pretty soon, if she doesn't already. But I'm rooting for that ship. And what was it? What is this scene?
I don't remember. I just screenshotted something that looked cute.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just screenshot things that look cute, okay? But the end of the episode,
oh yeah. This was
totally express, and he's like she falls sick, and she's got this abandonment issue because of her mother, and then she's like, "Are you gonna leave?" And he's like, "No, I'll be here as long as you want me to be here." And then he tells her straight up, "I love you," like at the end, no uncertainty. And then she's like, "Oh my god, I guess I'm not sick anymore because now I've got nerves because you just said this."
So the whole are you gonna leave or where? No, the whole "where are you going" scene felt a little weird to me because the words don't line up very well in my opinion. I feel like there might be like some context that's not translated over because he kept saying, "Where are you going?" and he was like, "I'm getting you some water." Where are you going?
No, that's because it's her abandonment issue. Because her mom would just leave her. And, I mean, you get this impression from the beginning. That's why she's like the mom in the family, because her mom is not present. She's just not. She doesn't have parental figures that are present at all. So.
Yeah.
I get it. It's an abandonment.
I am rooting for them. I don't know how much longer it's going to be before they completely become a couple, because it feels like she's trying to cling to what they have at that moment. Like I don't think she wants, or I think she's scared of having the relationship that she likes right now change. And so I think that's fair, but at the same time, she likes him, he likes her. I don't know how much longer they're going to be in the friendship zone, I guess.
Yeah.
Because because the thing is, neither of them are even opposed to being in a relationship. It's just that they're both just really like their current status.
Yep. I don't know. I look forward to the show. I think it's cute. It's not like, it doesn't have heavy plot, but that's okay. It's not what I'm looking for. So
yeah, we get that in Wonder Egg.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we do.
Next slide. All right. Skate the Infinity.
Skating. I told you he was going to be my favorite character. I told you.
Oh my god.
Sure enough, he is.
Okay. Matador needs. I don't know if he needs to be in jail, but he needs to be sued for everything that he's worth, because he's worth a lot of money, and he is not having these people sign waivers. Like they are going to this skating ring on their own accord, not signing any paperwork, and this man is out here literally like pushing people almost to their death.
Yes, I know. He is a predatory gay, and I just can't. Oh my god. Yeah, he is the most fascinating character. Oh, go to the next slide, because I picked this one on purpose, all right? Look, his eyebrows are even evil. How do you make his eyebrows?
Oh my god. Oh my god! This like if you show this image just to an anime fan with no context and say, "What is this anime from?" 100% of anime fans says, "Oh, that's a JoJo character." This is JoJo.
This with the clown guy next to him, with the Juggalo guy, the flower guy. Oh, yeah, that's JoJo answer, right? No. Oh my god! This episode was crazy. This was definitely high stakes looking stuff. I can't wait for him to get in a fight with the cherry guy. I'm very excited about our bad guy character here. I'm all about him.
Okay, so I don't. So his character, like all the characters are just like they're normal in day-to-day life, and they go out and they be their best selves when they're skating. And he's just like, yeah, I'm going to do all my company finance. I'm going to look good in this suit. I want to make sure we're on pace for whatever we need to do in the company. And he goes out and he's out like groping. Like he's groping them. He's attacking these kids on skates. And it's like, bruh, please calm down. Please calm down.
The chat described him as Lance or Joestar, which I really like. It's a very accurate description.
So I feel like the show has completely at this point taken Reki out of the main character role. Like Langa is the main character, because Reki has a 0% win record right now. Yeah, like he's lost all his matches. Character. Like he needs to level up pretty hard to catch up with Langa. And Langa is supposed to be like, oh, I'm literally been skating for a month now.
I don't
Reki's
know.
Like, yeah, I've been doing this since I was like walking.
Yeah.
But he can't keep up.
I don't know. The physics in the show don't make any sense. And that was true from the first episode, and it's especially true in this episode, because it's like, I'm gonna smoke my cigarette leisurely while I wait for you to get really far up.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna hit on my freaking skateboard because it's secret.
He literally hit the gas. And I'm like, you can't. That's not how skateboards work. You can't. Yeah. There's literally a maximum speed.
Work. Oh my god! Yeah, this is not how physics work, even in the slightest. But I love his outfit. I love his Matador thing. I love that he has horns on his skateboard. What even is that?
God.
He's
my god,
wonderful and terrible, and I just can't. I just can't.
You know the cosplays. You know the cosplays of him are going to be wild. Like the cosplayers are not going to let this one go.
Cannot wait. Okay, cannot wait. God. He's so great. I can't wait to see how he's going to screw everything up in this entire series. I'm ready.
So I was not expecting this in episode 1, but I think my favorite character of the show is actually Shadow. Like I would not have picked him in episode 1, but the fact that he literally has Chunibyo. Like he's out here being a great flower salesman. He's like doing his work like so diligently, and then like he comes in his car and they're all in there. Like, wait a minute, who's Shadow? I don't know who that is. That's not me.
He's delightful. I love him. He's pretty great. He's definitely high on my list, but I'm all about shipping the cherry guy and the beefy guy, okay? That's what I'm about in this show right now. And also all endearing love for the Matador because he's ridiculous and I love it and I can't deal with how ridiculous that he is. No. I love this show. I'm in. I'm sold. You could just sign me up for the whole season.
Definitely the biggest surprise of the season, I think. Definitely the biggest surprise.
Another show. This is a show that's not very deep, okay? I feel like the good stuff about this show are definitely on the surface level. There's a lot of pretty looking men and a lot of crazy times and weird non-physics. And that's all it is. I mean, that's all you need. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cherry Blossom and Joe. I am all about shipping that nonsense. The beefy guy and the effeminate guy, yeah, that's my ship. That's my ship right there. So, yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next show. We're gonna move on.
Oh, come on! You want to talk about the Skater Boys?
Oh my God! Talk about Titan.
Spoiler warning! Don't check Twitter the day after Attack.
That was dirty. Apparently. That was dirty. Like Twitter was like
Twitter was like, this character is trending, and a description of exactly why this character was trending on your trending.
I have never we've seen spoilers trend on Twitter before. We have never seen a spoiler trend with a description before.
It was description of the exact spoiler. Not like, and this is not a spoiler, like Eren is trending and maybe Eren had something happen to him. No, okay. Yeah, so spoiler alert, everybody on the chat, Sasha was trending and it said popular character Sasha dies in Attack on Titan as the description. And it's like
just how do you have to die? Just
and
you.
Like, and what? Like, and this was like 3 hours after the show dropped because I watched it in the afternoon, like right after, and then it was not long after that Twitter is just like spreading spoilers all over the place. So
yeah, like this was a pretty big moment because like Sasha really was a fan favorite, but the thing is like she was not so crucial to the plot that it was like, oh, now everything has changed. Like everyone liked her, but she was not really an important character. And if you only really seen season 1,
right there, where Connie's like, I only care about you guys, and as long as you guys are okay, and like 5 minutes later, that was
the death flag, right? That was her second death flag because like a few episodes ago when she saw Gabby and those two guys running in the street, she killed the two soldiers. And she saw Gabby and was like, oh, it's just a kid. I'm going to just let Gabby live. And Gabby ended up killing her. It's like, of all the people, Gabby, of all the people. Like,
yep.
So.
So Brother White Mage got tired of waiting on AOT in the first season. Yeah, I think the AOT suffered a really big blow, the anime, because they waited so freaking long to come out with season 2. The show was so hyped. I feel like people don't appreciate or don't remember or weren't around for how hype this show was when it
Titan. Titan was a Titan in the industry. Like Titan, like the guest at cons was a huge draw. The panels was a huge draw. The cosplays were just everywhere. But then like they just dragged their feet with the second season. It was like, well,
Yep. I heard that a lot of the flashbacks too. So Mappa's doing this season, and Wit Studio did some of the earlier seasons. They're actually reanimating the Wit stuff, so it looks the same. I heard. But I
didn't realize.
So
I did not realize. Cool.
Yeah. You had a lot of development in this episode, and honestly, everybody is talking about Sasha, but I feel like you're almost burying the lead there in that Zeke, like Zeke was the big reveal in this one, that Zeke is somehow working with them, but then Eren totally like broke protocol and did stuff, even though it worked out pretty well for them in the end, but Eren wasn't supposed to do this, but they've got Zeke, and Zeke's like, yep, it went about like I wanted, and this and that, and like, everybody cared that Sasha died. Nobody cared about this big reveal about Zeke. But
Yeah, that was. I don't quite understand how and why Zeke is on their side, because Zeke has been in the sauce since he was like 4 years old. Like his
yep,
backstory is that like, yeah, his parents were like, we're part of the revolution, and our kid overheard it, and he ratted us out. He ratted them out and got them killed. Like
yep.
he was indoctrinated from the womb. So for him to like change sides this late in the game is like, wait a minute, whoa. So I do feel like we're not talking about that, and the Sasha thing did overshadow it quite a lot.
Yeah, but I think that was the biggest thing for this episode, and yeah, and the old guy, I forgot what his name is, that was on, it was trailing him. The kids killed him, and then took his gear and jumped
Yeah.
up there. But now the kids are there, and who knows what they're gonna do with the kids? But they kidnapped him for now.
So the thing is, I guess they're going back to their paradise, or is it supposed to be paradise? Is they're just saying it weird because it's just, so they're going back to paradise,
but yeah, they call them paradisians. Yeah.
So they're going back to paradise, and so they're bringing Gabby and Falco with them, and so I assume that they're going to realize that like what they've been taught all this time isn't like the absolute truth, and they'll realize that it really is kind of like give and take in terms of this war. But yeah. I don't know what that accomplishes, because neither Gabby or Falco have a Titan in them, and it's not like they'll just get it once the other Titan dies. They have to actually eat the other person. So it's like they're useless at this point. They're not even trained to fight, really. Like Gabby can run into a minefield and throw some mines.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say she did have a good plan there to blow up that train, but
yeah, but it's like she's not about to be out here fighting on the Omni gear they have. So it's like they might as well just throw her overboard at this point.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? That doesn't serve the plot, because we got to have plot later. And if we start throwing children overboard, I mean, Aaron would, because Aaron would. Don't care.
Aaron is like, F these kids.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Let's see. We have another show, right? Oh, we have more.
Yeah,
so Slime.
A couple shows.
Yeah.
Slime.
We have a couple.
Okay, so you're gonna have to help explain Slime to me this week at the ending of it. Like Slime this week was, we found out there's a kingdom that everybody warned them about that predictably is kind of jerks and are mad that Tempest is taking all their commerce. And so, like most things, they're like, oh, let's use religious quest in order to wage a war against Tempest. And it's like, oh, that sounds familiar.
I see in your notes the time-tested strategy.
The time-tested strategy of using religion to promote your goals. Who would have guessed? It's got a basis in real history.
It is going to be interesting, though, because all the episodes up to this point has been going out of their way to tell us that Rimuru pretty much has a business agreement with every nation in this entire world at this point, it seems. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird that they're going to try to the final two nations that he hasn't, I guess, negotiated with is going to try to use religion to be like, hey, all of us get up and attack Tempest, but everyone's already very much on their side. So it's like,
yeah, I feel like that's going to be an uphill battle too. It's just, I agree.
They did say they have like 17,000 troops or something, though. Like they have a lot of troops just ready. So that is going to be a big battle.
So I do appreciate. So they've got like the children that came from the other world and stuff like that. That they're the pupils, And I like how they all look like children, except for one dude that looks like a full-grown adult. And it feels like I'm watching like a 90s sitcom or like a 90s teenager show, okay? Where the one kid is like way older and you can tell that he's way older and has been cast as like a 30-year-old for an 18-year-old. That's what it feels like when I watch.
Yeah, I mean he's not that much taller than they are, but he is bigger. I don't think he's much older though. I think he's still about their age, but he is significantly bigger than the smallest of the
kids vibes. Okay, hello fellow kids.
Yeah. So I guess so they keep propping up the kids, their storyline. So it seems they're going to have a big role to play, but they're not really connected to anything right now. They're kind of like their own side story. So I'm not sure how
Mm.
they're going to come back into like Tempest to help them because they're still kids, but they are powerful though. So I guess worst comes to worst, they would be called in. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I think you're right in your notes about the Mulan storyline. It's just so obviously going to where she's gonna defect, and it's gonna be a
yeah,
thing. I just feel like that's a really obvious plot line coming down the pipe, but
yeah. Literally,
whatever.
the moment her eyes locked with the other guy, it was like, oh, there's the ship. There's the ship right there.
Yep, yep,
Like,
you're right. Oh, go to the
um,
next slide. The
oh
next
yeah,
slide has nothing to do with what I wanted to talk about. I just appreciated the look on his face when he's getting kicked in the butt by his the master
yeah.
guy.
Oh man, he's so like, oh my god, he's so strong. Like he's been training all the goblins to be fighters ever since season one, and so Tempest has a pretty good army because like even though those kids are no match for them, they can hold their own. Like when fighting normal people, he's just like so many leagues above them that it's like he's literally just beating up children at this point.
Yeah. He definitely looked
Um,
like it, and I appreciated that scene because it was pretty funny. Tell me about the end. Tell me what's going on in the end with that guy and with the pink-haired chick that I don't like her character design, and that all
oh,
happened at the end of.
let me see. What's her name again? What's her name? I don't have her name in my notes, but the pink haired girl, she is a demon lord, and so she's really strong, but she still technically is a part of that other guy's faction. And so it seems that in addition to sending Milan, that she's kind of waiting in the wings as well. So that whole last scene was just to be like ominous, saying that she might have to be forced to like fight against them if things get really bad. But I don't really know. I don't know why she would pick the bad guy side because she's really strong by herself. I guess I guess the obvious bad guy. I guess he's probably stronger, but I don't know why she would still end up fighting against them. So it feels like it's probably going to be a misdirect, honestly.
Yeah. Well, they said that her name is Milam, and
Yeah.
well, gosh, I also don't like the dress like a lolly. That's I don't understand why that was necessary. It's really kind of gross fan service. I'm gonna be honest. I like fan
Yeah.
service. This is great kind of fan service. So, but
Honestly,
whatever.
the most thing I'm interested in right now is the other worlders that got brought in and is being sent to Tempest in order to kind of like scope out the land.
Mhm.
They seem really strong, but I'm pretty sure they're obviously like on no like they're nowhere near the level that Rimuru is on. So they're probably going to end up being on his side too. But I'm interested to see how they'll interact with him because the only other character that he's interacted with that was from Japan was the blue-haired girl that like he kind of saw in the flashback when season one started. She was the only other person from his time. The thing is, she was from like 1930s Japan, so like he had
Yeah,
to
it
explain
was
to her
like
like 70 years of history.
40s or something. It was World War II, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm interested to see how he interacts with people that are probably from a closer time period than
yeah,
to him. But
yeah.
yeah, next show we have is Promise Neverland.
Neverland. I love
Yeah,
Neverland. I love Neverland every time I watch it, and I love the manga. And a lot of stuff happened in this one. I can't talk a lot about speculation because I already read all of the manga.
yeah.
But it's not what I don't think it's what you think it is, actually. So yeah, a lot of
So
stuff happened.
when I saw that there was adult males roaming around, I was like, wait a minute, maybe Norman might get. I don't think so. I don't think Norman is dead. I'm pretty sure that's almost obvious because like the way they showed Norman like being led into like the room at during season one, like it was pretty obvious that they had other plans for him besides being eaten. So I was thinking maybe Norman might be recruited to join like the military or like be like a strategist. But when I first saw that in season 1, I was thinking maybe Norman was going to be a father. I don't know, because like they're mothers, so there has to be some guy somewhere. So I don't know how that's going to.
But you say that, but I mean, there. I'm gonna stop myself so I don't spoil anything. I'm just gonna.
Okay. So I have theories. I don't know how close or how far away these theories are, but I'm just trying to piece it together. The writing on the wall that was in the last episode was a pretty big misdirect. Because I was like, wait a minute, who is screaming for help? But it seems like it wasn't like a message for help; it was a message to help. So I think they just threw that in there in order to be like the cliffhanger, to have like a suspenseful ending to the last episode. But yeah, I have no idea how many shelters there are. I don't know how long this is gonna go.
Mother of Mama in this episode. After you had a view of Mother in this episode.
Oh yeah. So and I guess she's not back. I don't know if she's truly going to be back on the bad guys team, because I feel like because in the last scene of season 1, she looked like she was grateful towards Emma for finding a way to kind of like break the wheel, I guess. So it's like so I don't know if she's truly going back to the bad guys team.
Too much Game of Thrones. Okay.
I know. I'm gonna make another Game of Thrones reference later on for ReZero. But it's like I think I'm gonna hold off hating Mama. I think I kind of liked her a little bit at the end of season 1 when it showed her backstory. I'm gonna hold off opinions on her just a little while longer and see how serious she is in terms of really getting the kids back. But yeah. I know you can't talk much.
Got a long way to go. There's a lot of stuff. You should let the monsters eat this child, because this child wakes them all up by banging pots and pans first thing in the morning.
Hey, they're kids. That's fine.
Let this child outdoors and let the monsters eat him, okay? And everyone will be happier.
Whatever. It's effective. I'm not mad at this child.
I'm mad at this child.
I encourage him. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about in this one?
No, I mean the big reveal is that there are human troops that were hunting them, and you don't really know anything about them or where they came from or who they're aligned with or what's going on there. It's just now, they're being hunted by humans too. So
yeah, but apparently the humans are not necessarily like the humans that are clearly part of the military are not on the same side as the wild demons that are just roaming around, because they got eaten too. Like it is not like a whole coordinated front against these kids. It's kind of like, it really is like all out battle royale out there. I'm interested to see where that goes.
Me too.
All right, next slide we have ReZero, the show you hate.
Shocker of shockers, I didn't hate ReZero this week. I was dreading watching it. I absolutely was. But yeah, no, I didn't hate it this week. I thought it was pretty interesting. I enjoyed the backstory. I enjoy what's going on. It seems like Amelia had ruined everything for everybody when she was a child. I think that's where we're going to. I think that's what we're building up to. It's like, oh, hey, little kid, can you unlock this door for me? Sure.
Yeah,
I'm a stupid child.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that like they were running for so long, and he happened to run in the same direction as the seal. It's like that guy wasn't doing his job. Like the fact that she could get to the seal, like at the very least, you should have been running the opposite direction. Like, why would you run towards the thing that she has to be away?
She may have been transported there by Pandora. Like, you don't know.
Oh, that is true. Pandora is pretty overpowered.
Like, change reality, apparently, as we found out. Okay, so Legolas like you giving Legolas so much crap here. Legolas sacrificed himself, all right? He sacrificed himself. He's like, oh, I got this plague on my foot. Boom, no more foot. All right.
Yeah,
Didn't even
but it's
no more
yeah,
foot.
he didn't hesitate, but it still crawled up his leg. It is like, dang.
I mean, it didn't help, but I mean, he didn't. He's like, oh, I've got got a troublesome limb. Just chop it off right here. I mean, and that ain't growing back, man. That ain't growing back. So,
I mean, he ain't growing back. Like he that thing ran up his whole body. Like so. I mean, he bought Amelia a couple seconds to run away, which didn't really amount to anything. So it's like
no. Well, she didn't get eaten by the beast thing. She just opened a thing for Pandora and possibly do the whole world forever.
Yeah,
so maybe we should have let her get eaten by the beast thing. I'm just saying.
So Pandora is way too powerful. Like it seems her ability is to literally rewrite reality. Like that's way too much. Because when she said, "Yeah, you're not here. You're over in your mansion with your multiple wives," he just disappeared. And not only did he disappear, everything he's done to that point disappeared with him. It's like, wait a minute. You could just
all of a sudden
talk
Beetlejuice or whatever, Petaljuice has his arm back, and
so I'm curious to see what she's done. Like if she could do that much on a whim, what did she do that made everybody so angry at her? Because it seems like she has a big role. She played a big role in doing something to Amelia's mother and father. And so, and it seems that she's going to have a big role, like because we didn't get to see what she did to Fortuna and Juice, but we do know Juice is still alive. So it seems she's going to do something to both of them. So I wonder how her actions are going to play a part in what's going on, because we haven't seen her at all in like the up until now. So she's not in the current time.
Since she like supposedly changed Juice into some weird thing that becomes like a bad guy, do you think that she's changed Fortuna into some unrecognizable monster?
Yeah. So the thing is, Amelia has a familiar named Puck that sleeps. He's like, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like this little flying cat. Like he's this little flying cat that sleeps in her pendant. And all this time, we thought Puck was a boy, but Puck might actually be a girl, because Puck has always referred to Amelia as his or her daughter. And Puck is the only character that has ever called Amelia Leah. And so in this episode, Fortuna called her Leah, and Fortuna has been calling her a daughter the whole time. And so I'm thinking maybe Pandora might have changed Fortuna and caused her to become Puck, which would make a lot of sense at this point if Puck has been Amelia's adoptive mother this entire time. Because Puck has been like whenever Amelia's in like absolute danger, Puck just goes wild and just like almost destroys the world. So all that would make sense if they had that type of relationship.
Yeah.
So the Game of Thrones reference I was going to make about ReZero is that it feels like we're going deeper and deeper into like the politics and like, well, not necessarily the politics, but we're going deeper and deeper into like the backstory of like the Sanctuary and all this stuff. But this is not the main problem. Like the Sanctuary was supposed, all this stuff of them trying to leave the Sanctuary and do the trials, that way Amelia can leave and bring all those people with her. That was a roadblock in terms of the major problem. Like this is not the big problem. The big problem is that Rosewall is terrible, and Rosewall hired an assassin to kill everybody at his home mansion. He hired an assassin named Elsa, of all things. So Elsa's out in the main mansion about to kill everybody, and Rosewall did this just to like force Subaru to like not drag his feet and force Subaru to like handle this problem as soon as possible, because Subaru knows that if he doesn't get this whole Sanctuary thing handled within like the next day, he's not going to make it back in time to save everybody in the mansion. And he's already failed at trying to run from one location A to B like at 3 times this point. So he knows he has a hard deadline in terms of like getting the Sanctuary problem taken care of and running back to the mansion. So it's like, this is not the main issue, but we're just diving deeper and deeper into it. And it's like, there are White Walkers right outside the wall. We need to solve that issue over there. So, the plot of ReZero is just getting really, really intricate. I don't know if that's for a good or bad thing, because at this point, there's just so many plot lines that are just dangling in the air that it's like, when we finally get back to it, it's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I forgot. That was the thing that we had to take care of.
It's better getting back to it than it just bringing it on you like Yashahime, okay? Like
yeah,
all
that
of a
is
sudden,
fair. That is fair.
Like,
let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about this one? Oh, another big plot that happened in this one is that we got to see Beatrice, which is the little girl that had the blonde hair and was really high and mighty. She looks that exact same way 100 years down the line. She doesn't age. But we got to see Beatrice acknowledge that Echidna is her mother, because, what we knew about Beatrice from up till now was that she was created by Echidna as kind of like almost a joke. Like, Echidna was bored one day and said, hey, I'm going to make this being and just give her a stupid task to do that she can't, like her task, Beatrice's task that Echidna left with her is that you have to wait for the right person. That's all. She gave her this really vague and this task to do that has no real solution. And she says, just wait for the right person. But the right person is whoever Beatrice chooses that person to be. So Beatrice has been locked in like the library for the last 100 years, waiting for someone to show up. And she doesn't know who it is, not realizing that her mother just played the prank on her and just says, no, it's whoever you want it to be. And so we always had that backstory like there. And so it's like, wait a minute. They actually had like an actual like relationship. So it's like, it's weird that Echidna would be like that, just nonchalant about like locking her daughter in a library for 100 years. So,
well, you also saw the Rosewall guy in this episode too, as a younger person.
Yeah, but then they said that was like the 7th generation of Rosewall. Like they said that, like, that's like a different iteration of him, because this is 100 years in the past.
I was gonna say, how are all these people still alive in 100 years? Like the witches and stuff, I guess I get because they're magical.
Yeah, Beatrice makes sense.
Amelia
is an elf.
Amelia was also frozen in ice for an indeterminate amount of time too, right?
Yeah, so it makes everyone that has immortality is the ones that are in the flashback now. Juice is the only one that we didn't know couldn't age. So we didn't know Juice was, I don't know, 100 whatever odd years, probably even more. Because even in the current time, he was talking about how Fortunate was like, oh yeah, you're just a little kid. Like, I remember when you were growing up. So Juice is probably at least 200 years. I don't know. But yeah, lots of dangling plot threads.
I definitely like this episode better than I've liked a lot of other episodes, because it actually had interesting stuff that I could follow. And okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't a terrible episode of ReZero, which is a high bar.
Okay. It's made another week without being put on the chopping block of Jess's drop list. All right. What do we have next? We have Dr. Stone. All right.
I can't deal with Dr. Stone. I just can't. All right. This was such a dumb plot line.
It is, but like, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad.
There's like, no way it's going to work. It ended so stupidly. This is what I'm talking about when I say the comedy in this show is bad. This was a badly written episode. Like, very bad. Was it though? It was. It was real bad. Okay.
I think for the original manga, I'll say it's not written greatly. But I think that the actual production of the episode in terms of the anime was good. I do feel like them calling themselves out about how convenient the writing is made it passable. Like, they were like, "Hey, Senku, you have like terrible luck. Like, you managed to get like the only like super fan in the entire world, and she's the one that we found." Like, even them calling themselves out of it doesn't kind of like completely excuse it, but it's like, at least they're aware that like it's super convenient. You know what I mean? It's super convenient writing. So I'm not mad.
I thought it was dumb. Red and White Mage, the manga is better. Although I don't think the manga is that much better. I'm caught up in it, and I still think it's pretty stupid at a lot of points. And I wanted to like the show. I like the concept of this show. I just don't like the show. It's
I
too.
like it. All your criticisms, I don't really have.
Well,
I
the art design criticism is a real thing. Okay.
yeah,
The
I
art
mean
design
they
is
do look pretty
all over
weird. They do look pretty weird, but I've gotten used to it. I've grown to appreciate it. I don't know why. Um, I like the idea that the alliances so far in the show have been built on such small like things that just are worthless in the grand scheme of things, but it's something that the character cared about. Like the
like
mentalist
soda.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, he wanted
he wanted a bottle of soda so badly that he sold out his side. Like, you know what? If you give me a bottle of Coke, I'll do this for you. And
I
the
like
whole
how he
relationship
won
was
over
built on a single
people.
bottle of Coke, and this one was built
Well,
on a single CD.
well, I like how he won over like all the people in the town with like the crappiest ramen he's ever tasted, and it's like
Yeah,
no, but it's the
like
best thing.
so I feel like that is a recurring theme of the show. That's I guess I mean I don't think I don't want to look too deep into it, but it feels like the small things that we would just take advantage or like not appreciate ended up being like the thing. You know what? I really miss a bottle of Coke in this new world. I really miss being able to
Yeah.
like listen to music in my favorite CD. So yeah,
Well,
I like
go to
it.
the next slide. Go to the next slide because the thing I did appreciate about this episode is beefy waifu. Okay, I'm on board. All the beefy women, yes, please give me all of those. I want 800 more beefy women in Doctor Stone. That's what I
So
need.
what's the bad guy's name again? Is it Takasa or something?
Tsukasa, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
so, but like, so like this is another character. That I mean, at least she looks a little bit more like a teenager. Like I'll give her a pass. She's just a beefy teenager. But Tsukasa is
Well,
like, that's a
she even
grown
got bullied.
man.
She got bullied for being a beefy teenager. So I mean, that's even part of her storyline.
Yeah,
Like I was so muscular that people bullied me. So,
I can
but
accept
you're
her.
right.
She
Character
looks like
designs
a
don't make
teenager.
any sense. They don't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sukasa's character design does not make sense. But I don't know. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Beefy
yeah.
characters. Give me 800% more of those. I'm down. I'm down.
I think that might be it of it. I mean, I don't. Well, I guess he raised a bunch of people from the stones, so I guess there might be more
He,
beefy people. I don't know how many
I would
beefy
like
more
that.
women we'll get.
Well, yeah, like if he raised more, if he's gonna unpetrify some people, he's got a vested interest that they're gonna be young because he doesn't like adults,
Yeah,
and that they're gonna be strong because that's kind of his mo, you know. So he can. Oh,
yeah,
if you guys
yeah.
are having trouble with the auto mods, that for those of you who are like friends with me, message mom or on Facebook or something so she can auto like remove those words.
I did.
What word? Or is it filtering out words from in the comments?
Yeah, the auto mod like filters a whole bunch of things, and we have really no idea why because it's like we're not doing this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if you want to text her, that's fine. But we're trying to like add words as they come up, but we don't know what they are. You know what I mean? If you can't like actually type them, so
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What's next? Oh, so that was actually all of our weekly stuff. So the final thing we have is our spin the wheel thing.
And yeah, so spinning the wheel. This was the first of Erik's spin the wheel, and it is actually
I am. So I think so. I put this show on. I liked it. I think this is it has a very small but nice selection of monster girls that get introduced over time. And it's I don't think it qualifies as a harem show because like the main relationship is introduced like off the bat. You know that he likes her. You know that she's going to end up liking him. There is no like question of, oh, maybe he's going to pick this other girl. Maybe this other girl might have a chance. So it's just, you know, this is the relationship. And technically the other girls do like him, but
It's like Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl then, because that show
Yeah,
is very much like
yeah. So
yeah.
I wouldn't call
'Cause everybody
Rascal a harem.
yeah. No, I wouldn't call Rascal a harem. It sets you up like it's gonna be a harem, but it's not a harem show. I
Yeah.
like Rascal Dream of Bunny Girl, but
So
I don't know.
if you're you
This
go.
is one of those shows that I'm not sure if I just don't like anime comedy or if I don't like this show that much. I didn't hate this show. I thought it was just kind of meh, but I didn't like the comedy, and I think it might just be that I just don't like anime comedy like 99% of the time. That I just don't. So.
Yeah, it doesn't really introduce anything like drastically new to the genre. Like it does follow like a lot of like the basic tropes, but I don't think it falls back too hard on them at the same time. But it is like I think if anyone likes watching monster girl shows, like if they especially like the vampire girl trope, I think they'll like her because she's a vampire, but she doesn't have like the all the weaknesses. Like they're like, oh, you can't go out into the sun or you turn to ash. She goes, no, I just get a tan. And then later on, there's a garlic episode where they're like, hey, you can't eat garlic, right? Oh no, it doesn't kill me; it just gives me a stomach ache, right? So they throw out all the vampire like.
She made some point where
ideas.
She can't eat except in the evening, like after dark or something, or after the sun starts going down. Because she said she had like her lunch and she said she couldn't eat it until after the sun went down or something.
But the thing is, the only reason why she couldn't eat it is because she was scared of someone walking in during the day and watching her eat with her fangs. It's fun. Yeah, so it's fun. First, we get introduced to the main vampire girl. Then the second girl that we get to see, which is like his first crush, but like at the time she didn't like him at all. But she kind of like starts to like him really over time.
The whole so
she's an alien.
He's really obvious. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve, so to speak. His face gives away whatever he's thinking, and he can't keep secrets to save his life. And yet he is tasked with all of these secrets for all of these girls, and that's the comedic thing about the show.
And the funny thing is, even though he can't keep it, they make it a point saying that he can't keep a secret, and that's like his like thing that he's so bad at. But everybody in the show is so bad at like keeping their own secrets. It's like the vampire girl, like when he walks into the classroom and she's there and she's stretching and her wings are showing. Like it's almost a better play to say, hey, no, these are like props. These are like from the drama club. Like they're not real. Yeah. It's almost a better play to like deny than to say I'm a vampire because it's so out there, you know? Like, but she's no, I'm a vampire. You caught me. And the alien girl just like revealed herself. She like the moment she saw the vampire, she said, oh, let me get out of my Men in Black alien suit. And like she's the little monsters from Men in Black that drive like the mech for the human body. So she just gets on top and is like, yeah, put your hands up. I want to have this little like tiny taser. And it's like, what are you doing? You didn't have to reveal yourself at all, but you're going to be mad at him for not being able to keep a secret. So whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know.
And then
it is not something I would keep following, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world, I guess. So
yeah, there's a few more monster girls that get introduced later on, but that's the crux of the show. Yeah.
Well, we've got to spin the wheel for next time, and then I've got some news for next time too. So give me a second.
Oh yeah. We've been doing a good job at like staying exactly on time, even when we drop shows.
It's because I get angry about quintuplets. So
yeah.
Okay. Oh, 1. We already did that one. I'm gonna spin it again. 1 was Fushigi Yugi, so we're not doing that again. 20. That was just actually I am. So we're not doing that one again.
We need to get a digital wheel. That way it just takes them out.
My Little Monster. I've already seen this, but I don't mind watching it again. I really liked it. So
My Little Monster is pretty good. I enjoyed My Little Monster, I think, has a similar setup to Horimiya, where like right off the bat you understand like they like each other, and it's not like this game that you play where it's like, oh, are they going to get together? Are they not?
I feel that, but I don't remember it that. I watched it and I liked it, but I need to rewatch it. Like I need to rewatch it to remember it really well. So that'll be our one for next week. We are going to be back next week. We're going to be cutting back our streaming some here for MomoCon, but we're going to continue with Anime Book Club. And it will be slight change next week, which we'll post on all social media. We're going to be in the evening, starting on Thursdays. So please join us next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a little bit different of the timing here. But we hope to keep that forward all the way through the season. Go ahead, Eric.
We'll have to decide if we're going to keep, if we're going to watch the Thursday shows in addition to because then we'll have an extra episode. So we'll have to decide what we're going to do about that.
Yeah. So it'll change our schedule up a little bit, but it shouldn't change it, a terrible amount depending on what we decide. And we can't wait to see you there. So thank you guys for joining us.